Okay, so this right here just kind of breaks down what I talked about in the last video a little bit. We're talking about using the distributive property. You can see the relationship between the numbers and the binomial factors and the terms in the trinomial. And by the way, the trinomial is the answer that we got. This is the trinomial, okay? And the factors, the binomial factors, that's where we started at. Just to kind of break down some vocabulary for you there. And it says you can see the relationship between the binomial factors and the resulting trinomial. Okay, so we can see that the x, I messed up, didn't I? That should have an 8 on it. Okay, so the x squared came from the product of the 2x and the 4x, right? The 15 came from the product of the constants. But then the 22 is the sum of the products of the x terms. So, after we multiplied them together, after we did 2x times 5 and 3 times 4x, that's where the 22 came from. So, in order to work this out, and like I said, I'm going to do this a different way, okay? I'm going to use the same ideas that we've been working with. So we're factoring 6x squared plus 13x minus 5. Our a is 6, our b is 13, and our c is negative 5. And I'll make the table like we did yesterday. Okay, so we make the box like we did yesterday. And I'm going to put my quadratic term first, my constant last, and these two in the middle should add up to the linear term. And I'm still going to make the ACB chart, A, C, and B. So A, it was 6, C is negative 5, and B is 13. So this is a little different. When I do A times C here, I'm going to get negative 30. I'll bring the B down there. So I'm looking for factors of negative 30 that add up to 13. So let's take a look. Could be, since this is negative, that means our signs are going to be different. So we know we could do negative 1 times 30 or 1 times negative 30. But it's pretty obvious those are not going to work out to 13, right? So let's keep going. What about 2 and 15? I can make the 2 negative, negative 2 plus 15. Hey, that gives us 13. So the numbers that we're going to use are negative 2x plus 15x. Now this is where it gets kind of tricky. We got the numbers. Now we need to think about our box a little bit differently. I want you to think in terms of greatest common factor. Right here, what's the greatest common factor of 6x squared and 15x? Well, they both have x's, so we know we're going to have an x here. But what is the largest number that goes into 6 and 15? Well, that number would be 3. And then, so once I've got that, then I can just work everything else out. What would have to go here? What times 3x would give me the 6x squared? Well, that would have to be 2x. Okay, and then what times 3x would give me 15x? Well, that would have to be 5. 5 times 3x is 15x. And now that I have the top filled out, I just need to look on the bottom. 2x times what would give me negative 2x? Well, that'd have to be negative 1. And then I check the last box. Is 5 times negative 1 negative 5? Why, yes it is. So our answer is going to be 2x plus 5 times 3x minus 1. And that's the same thing the book got. Hey, look, I did it right. So the book does it a little differently, and if you want to read that and follow that, that's fine. I'm going to be doing it this way because I feel like it's simpler and more straightforward. Okay, I'm going to stop here.